that women are less qualified or women have less skills than men. However, this might be true in underdeveloped countries where they don't get equally qualified because of certain factors. However, in developed countries such as UK, we still see the trend that there are very few women in executive positions.
As the job tends to get stronger, their representation tend to fall, making just 33% of women in managers and senior officials roles. So, when one is looking for the rate of how women's participation impacts the workforce, it becomes very important to know what actually holds them back. From our research, we came across three major causes that affected women from reaching into top levels. First is individual cause. This is explained by Catherine Hakim as Hakim's preference theory, where he categorizes women into three groups. First, work-centered women, who are focused, career-oriented, and competitive. Second are adaptive women, who believes in mixing and balancing their professional and personal lives. And third are home-centered women, who when given a choice, would choose their family over career and give them more priority. However, preference is something that can change over time. So James Donny and Murray Lee criticizes Hakim's theory by explaining preference formation, where they discuss about preference to be formed in response to circumstances and operative to situation of deliberation. Furthermore, when we look in the context of UK, it has a particularly long hours working culture. So it becomes very difficult for women to balance their work life and family life. And like we can see in this graph too, that issues with maintaining work-life balance had the highest ratio with 20%. Moving on, we have second cause, that is patriarchal cause, or say stereotyping. This explains that women are irrational and emotional. It holds a strong belief in that changed over past decade, where women in middle management aim to reach senior position through their qualifications and experiences, and regard there should be few barriers in their success if they are armed with these required factors. In this graph, you can see that the gradual increase of women on FTSE 100 boards over the last 10 years, starting from 10.1% in 2004, reaching to 20.7% in 2014. Lastly, we have third cause, that is cultural cause, which includes gendered working practices and talks about two major factors that affects this. First, old boys network, and second, class ceiling. Old boys network refers to promoting individuals who are like themselves. And since representation of men is greater than that of women, they would prefer their own type to fill the given position, and women not preferred because they are considered outside network. And secondly, we have class ceiling. Here, male forces dominates the structure that prevent making women incapable to move forward. How? By not giving them appropriate and sufficient training, experiences, and most importantly, opportunity. Often their policies are made in such a way that prevents them from gaining experiences in these areas that are crucial for their career development.
As we can see from this graph, UK is there in the top 4 countries which have women around 20% working. But then still, when we look at the whole organizational companies in UK, 20% is still not enough according to the male-dominated organizations that we have. According to Solomon's studies, when we look at that, it says that at least 3 women are required in the boardroom to change the boardroom dynamics, like for the women to be heard, for their voices to be heard. When we see why women are more important in the boardroom, we get to know that a UK-based asset management company did a survey on those companies which had at least 20% women female representatives in the FTSE listed companies, and they found out that the share prices and the operation performances increase every year with the increase in the women in the boardroom. And we even got to know that more role models are needed for women to get more enthusiastic and to be more encouraged to work in the top level management, because one of the major drawbacks that we have when compared to why women cannot reach in the top level management is self-confidence. And when we have more role models, that builds in more self-confidence in women, and it helps them to reach their top level management. Now 51% of the whole population in UK is women, and out of that 46% of them are economically active workforce. Now when we see that these are the women that are most responsible for their almost 70% of the household purchase decision, and they also hold UK's a lot of wealth. So when we see that when we have these kind of women in the boardroom, it definitely helps to improve the understanding of consumer needs and informed decision making. There was even a survey done by Harvard School, Business School researchers, and they said that women are more assertive on issues, government issues like evaluating board performances. Now this would definitely bring the new era of governance when we have more women in the boardroom. It would bring in more ideas. Like when we have men saying all the men in the boardroom, it will just bring to some extent the same ideas. When we have women in the boardroom, to some extent it will bring a different aspect to the same idea that they have been discussing in the boardroom. Another solution that we have come across is equal opportunities to both men and women to succeed in their careers. When they are given more equal opportunities, like
provided the solutions from various scholars through which we can know that how can this problem be solved, such as like equal opportunities and stuff like that, and hence organizations, individuals working together can mitigate this problem more swiftly.
Thank you.
Two questions for you. One is for you, maybe another one is also for you. The first one, don't worry, I just want to clarify on that. The first one I want to ask is, you said earlier, when there are women on board, in the boardroom, and they will have differing opinions, something very different, very unique. How can you say that?
okay, like if we take it psychologically, men and women, both of them have different thinking and psychological pattern. So when it has both men and women in the boardroom, it will have two sides of thinking. Like men will have almost some sort of same thinking, women will have some sort of same thinking. So it will just brainstorm more of ideas and.
Okay. So when you said psychological thinking, based on which evidence are you talking about? When you said psychological thinking, men and women have different patterns of thinking. Who says that? Have you got any reference that says that backs your evidence by saying that women's thinking are different? Maybe Tony Buzan has said that women's left brain works more than right brain, something like that,
According to Hobler, it says that women are often looked upon as deviant and genetically susceptible. So it means that the theory itself says that women and men, they are different genetically.
Good. I want something like that. Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. Another one, because you are talking about UK government, right? You are talking about UK, United Kingdom. UK government's initiative to promote gender equality. Can you give me any evidence or recent news or any of the past evidences on this? Has UK done anything? Recently in India, I'll give you an example. In India, the government has enforced and said that women must be included. So all the big entrepreneurs, you know what they have started doing? They have started including even their wives as a compulsion. They have to be on board so that more women come on board. So that was just government's initiative, and to the private companies and public listed companies. They have, especially the private companies.
It's a UK's companies overall
Okay.
companies.
Okay.
They top companies. They have a target of reaching 25% of women reaching in top levels according to the year by year. And according to this graph, we can see that till 2014, they have reached 20.7, which means that they still have 25% target. They have set target to reach 25%.
So thank you very much. But what are the actions? Let's conclude this. What are the actions they are taking in order to do that? If you have not included, that is fine. This should be one of my feedback to maybe include this in the next level, because now this research will go to L5. So this you will have to incorporate some better information. So this is just as a feedback. I'm not saying anything is wrong. What I'm saying is to next, I'm showing you the direction from there. Please include this. This will be very good.
And my suggestion to you is that in the literature review you have put more findings there. Okay, the those graphs should happen in your findings area. That's you have talked more about the findings in the literature review. Literature review is good, but you have put more findings in the literature review. So instead of that, it should happen in
Yes, I'm continuing the Jones's instead of that, you can use some kind of theoretical frameworks like that. You can see there what yes
in the literature review.
In the literature review, you can see yes. So such theoretical framework that can explain a lot about the literature rather than.
I think overall you have a very rich secondary research. We have no doubt on that. Very good.